The Marco Verratti to Al-Arabi deal that we've been talking about every single show is finally done. Jules, what are the numbers? And tell me again why he's moving.
A 45 million euro transfer, which is
Given he's 30 and on big money.
Yeah, and going to a Qatar club, considering that PSG are owned by the Qataris. I think you can rightly ask the question, is there some sort of
related party, separately?
Conflict of interest somewhere? Maybe. Like I said to you the other day, I just think it's a sad end to his career for what was, even if he was often injured. Yes, I know, and sometimes not maybe performing, especially in the top games, like the fans and people at the club would have liked him too. He was an amazing player for 10 years.
I can't imagine there's many Paris Saint-Germain players in their long and storied history, which goes all the way back to 1971, that have spent 10 years at the club.
I think it's 436 games he played, so still a lot despite the injuries. And you can still, of course, look at the lifestyle and the fact that he likes smoking and drinking and all of that. Okay, there's other players like that, and he was still very good on the pitch for most of his time in Paris. Let's not forget as well that he came to Paris from Pescara when he was a really young kid.
Never played in Serie A.
Never played in Serie A, and discovered the capital and the big city with everything that comes with it. So I will always love him, personally. I've interviewed him a few times. He was always great to me as well.
In French, I hope, right? Because his Italian is impossible. I struggle with his accent. When
you said
Italian.
That before. Yeah, in French. His French was beautiful.
He has a very regional accent, put it that way. I will say this about the Verratti Al-Arabi deal, just from a UEFA perspective, right? So effectively, they haven't actually passed legislation, but I think they've made it very clear that they're open to multi-club ownership and related parties doing business. I think when it comes to PSG's financial fair play calculations and financial sustainability calculations, they need to be very, very clear about how they're going to deal with this. This is obviously a related party. I mean, we can go put our heads in the sand, but it's not.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a big player, though.
He's still a big player.
It's not you or me for 50 million.
No, that's fine. But what they normally do with related party transactions, with sponsorships, like, say, Manchester City and Etihad, is they come out and say, what is fair market value? And so is 45 million for a 30-year-old player who's always injured fair market? Well, whatever. They have to show that they've been through it and say, because, look, I mean, if they were trying to cheat, they would have said, oh, look, 100 million, 200 million,
Yeah.
It's important, I think, that they do that. It's important that they introduce this level of transparency. Same thing with multi-club ownership. If you're going to allow this, because otherwise you're opening yourself up for all sorts of abuse of the system and people just moving money around.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.